So this is the room that they'll never see. They'll never see it. They'll never touch it. They'll never know. Those are the boxes of the windows for their fort house that they'll never play in. Those are walkie-talkies and CBs they'll never play with. Cell phones they'll never play with. Cameras they'll never play with. Toys they'll never play with. Games they'll never enjoy. Computers they'll never use. Multiple computers. Custom-made room they'll never touch. Clothing, more games, more cool stuff. This is a place where they've never known abuse or neglect. They've never been hit, strangled, punched, thrown into walls. Here, they've never been forced to lick their vomit or urine off the bathroom floor or the bedroom carpet for vomit when my older son got sick and threw up on the floor, and his abusive father would make him clean it by eating it off the carpet, but never here. It never happened here. And nobody believed me. No matter how I told the truth, no matter the photographs of evidence of bruises on the kids, no matter the audio, sound evidence of their father abusing them, nobody believed me. So I finally nanny cammed him, biggest mistake of my life. The police brought CPS in. CPS took the children, gave them to the abuser's best friends for 2 days, gave the children back to him. 3 years later, going on 4 years, and the abuser has consistently had more services, better service providers, preferential treatment, more contact when I have had no contact or nearly no contact. And until I got my own provider for service for myself alone, CPS hooked me up with service providers that did not do what they were supposed to do. They did not do the treatment that they were told to do. And it was blamed on me. But the very first private service provider I got, the very first one, she mowed right through the treatment that CPS said that I needed. And she wrote a letter as well after I got my graduation diploma for completing said treatment. She wrote a letter, very good letter, very truthful, very correct, stating that, and I apologize, that's the family dog my children will never play with. Anyway, she wrote a letter stating that I never showed any signs of having that disorder, because guess what? I never did. I never did. The only disorder I had was not being believed when I would try to get help for him battering the children. And he is also a child molester. But nonetheless, as of today, February 24th, 2021, he will get the children back, and he will house them with a very good female friend of his, who, as far as I know, is not currently a romantic partner. I wouldn't mind. None of my business if she is, but she's gay, or she was gay. Maybe she's not. Maybe she's hetero. I don't know. At this point, maybe she's changed her mind. That's neither here nor there, but she has a lot of money, and she spent nearly a decade in the past making sure he didn't get caught when he would do it, the abuse, with her in the previous house. That was his house. She made sure he wouldn't get caught. She did not help me or the children. She did not step forward. She did not stop him. She did not privately tell him to stop it. She just covered for him, and now she is the safety monitor. And as far as I understand, he and the children, with CPS's blessing, will be living in a very large home that she has bought and owned. And she will cover for him again. And the children, who have now been in foster care for a hair over 2 years, are so desperate to be out of foster care. Foster care is so horrid to them that they don't know the truth about my situation. They don't know this is here. They don't know that I graduated the treatment for the disorder I didn't have, because they were told I had not. And they were told that they could not come live with me by CPS because I had not graduated, when in reality, the diploma, I have graduated. And I have a letter as well from the therapist that's very positive. But anyway, they were told none of that existed. None of that is the case. So they were told they couldn't come here. And they were led to believe that basically it was be adopted by the foster parents, or I guess somebody else, but the foster parents plan on adopting them, from my understanding, or return to their father. So they've chosen to return to their father, who shows to have the exact same disorders and behavioral issues that led him to batter them and molest them to begin with, when nobody would believe me. And they will be returning to him this Friday. Again, today is February 24th, 2021. So here there's a safe, fit, prepared home ready. Right here. Fit, parent, good, safe home right here. And covered up is the children's names. This was my silent protest during today's hearing. I put the phone with the camera on in the room, so I work from home now, and I just left it here because the court hearing for CPS was remote because of the pandemic, so that these signs would be here. And of course, at that time, the children's names were not covered. I don't know if the children's names could be read from the distance with the cell phone camera, but it was my silent protest. The hearing today was 100% for the abuser to regain residential custody of the children, and my lawyer, my motion, my request to gain family therapy, talk therapy services with the children at a therapeutic clinic that CPS uses in my state, but not the one CPS insists on sending me to, which is inaccessible to me. I can't go. Plus, the last regular, just therapist for me, my children were never, I was always denied any form of family talk therapy with my children. I was always denied that. The abuser got that. And when my older son said some drastic things about the abuser, the family therapist just put in his notes that he thought my son was just saying those things for dramatic effect. When my ex used to force him to clean his urine and vomit off the floor by licking it off the floor, strangled him, punched him, threw him into walls, beat his head, strangled him, twisted his neck to the point where any sane person would think his neck would break, and much, much more. So I don't know what any child could say that would be just for dramatic effect if you hurt them that much, and then add in the molestation. I never did those things. CPS is not even accusing me of having done those things. The only thing that CPS accused me is of having a mental disorder I do not have. And I have now again graduated the treatment for that, and I have a diploma. And I graduated the treatment prior to the hearing today, and CPS knew it. And I have no drug history. All drug tests have been perfect. I'm clearly employed. I don't have an abusive boyfriend or any boyfriend living here. I don't have a roommate living here. I don't have anyone of questionable character living here. And I have 2 residences, this one and another one, both for my children. And no boyfriend or questionable person or roommate that could be considered questionable living in either place. I did all this furniture myself. I put the bunk bed together myself. I've bought all this myself with my money that I earned from working. I work from home, so I'm able to do the homeschooling, not really homeschooling, but the schooling kids do with the computer from home now. I have computers for this. I have 2 other computers for this as well. But I work from home, so I'm able to be there and to help them with their schooling from home. And I have, again, CPS is not accusing me of any form of child abuse. There's just the mental disorder I didn't have that I graduated treatment from, and saying that I failed to protect my children from the abuser, when in reality I did not fail to protect my children. Nobody would believe me. And every time I tried to get us away or get them away, people would believe him, people in authority, and he would just continue abusing the children. He would force me to bring the children back to him, force the children to return to him, and he would just continue to abuse the children until I nanny cammed him. And well, quite frankly, even that didn't matter, because CPS continued to return the children to him, and then he continued to abuse the children. Then CPS removed the children from him, and now they're giving the children back to him so he can abuse them again. But this time, his friend will be covering for him. She definitely will. I've seen it before. I've seen it for almost a decade. She will do it again. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And this is extreme behavior that I've seen persisting for a long, long time. This is not had a bad day at work and yelled at the kids one day, but normally doesn't do that. That's not what this is. This isn't even had a terrible day at work, stopped at the bar, drank, smacked a child, and then felt bad about it and never did it again. That's not what I'm talking about here. And I've never done any of those things either, by the way. But if that's what this was about, then I would think and feel differently. Because then it would be just about being human and doing a terrible thing, that a human can do and feel bad about and never do again. And it is a terrible thing, but